Land Rover is on a real high. The all-new Freelander has just been launched and the Range Rover Sport is selling like hotcakes. But for some buyers, it's only the real McCoy that will do. And that means a proper, full-sized Range Rover. And boy, do they cost you. There's only one model under 50 grand and it's easy to spend over 60. Yet even these buyers can't overlook the way they can halve their fuel bills if they go diesel. The trouble is, the Range Rover's 3-litre BMW diesel is rather overwhelmed by the 2.5 tonnes of steel and leather. Now, there's an answer in the all-new 3.6-litre twin-turbocharged V8 diesel. Not from BMW this time, but the 2.7-litre V6 from the Discovery with another couple of cylinders added on. Not that the Range Rover can now have it all its own way. Always much more than merely a 4x4, rival manufacturers are after a slice of the cake too. Inevitably, they are German, and equally inevitably, they have gone about tackling the Range Rover in a deadly serious way. The Mercedes GL goes for sheer brutal size as its trump card. At over 5 metres in length, it's one of the longest cars on sale in Europe, and there's room for a third row of seats if you tick the right boxes on the order form. Its V8 turbo diesel is bigger, at 4 litres, which means its power of 306 brake horsepower is a good 12% more than the Range Rover's 272. Audi's Q7 takes a completely different direction again. Curvaceous and sporting, and quite unlike any other 4x4 we have ever seen. It's as long as the GL too, but what it doesn't have, yet, is a large capacity diesel. So in this test, the Q7 has to compete with a 3-litre 230 bhp V6 against those formidable rivals. Is Audi technology good enough to pull it off? Not on the rough stuff, that's for sure. No one has yet equalled the Range Rover trick of coupling high luxury with off-road performance that stands alongside that of a Defender. Range Rovers seem to have an uncanny ability over the really rough stuff, be it rocks, water or the desert. Great axle articulation is one key factor where cars like the Q7 can't even begin to compete. But it's tracks like these that are the worst most 4x4s will ever see. Some mud, a few lumps and bumps, and maybe the odd deep puddle. Stick the Q7's air suspension in its comfort mode and the ride is smoothed out while the four-wheel drive does just what it should. Even the engine doesn't feel underpowered in these circumstances. The Mercedes GL feels altogether more purposeful, at the other extreme to the Audi's designer approach. It's got the full suite of serious off-roading functions. Downhill speed control, hill start assist, plus numerous electronic systems. You'll probably want manual control for the gears for more severe off-roading, but the GL's rocker switches on the steering wheel just aren't up to the job, simply too fiddly and illogical. All these manufacturers are dead clever when it comes to using electronics to make their cars work. But our money is on Audi on getting the best balance of function and reliability. Not that a car really needs to be too clever to do this sort of off-roading. Weight, tyres and four-wheel drive are the key ingredients. The electronics are more about dealing with the driver's lack of skill than anything else. Each of these huge vehicles will tow over 3 tonnes, enough for a big horse box and a couple of drays. Lots of engine torque is important, and the argument that there is no substitute for cubic inches really stands up here. The V8s in the Range Rover and the Mercedes knock the Q7's V6 into the wilderness. The GL is also easily the quickest on the road too. The 0 to 60 times of 7.6 seconds is eye-watering for a vehicle this size, eclipsing the 8.5 seconds of the Range Rover and the 9.1 of the Q7. Despite this, the Audi is the most sporting drive. Switch the suspension to sport setting and everything sharpens up nicely. The Q7 is the only one that competes on-road with a Porsche Cayenne or BMW X5. Not that the other two fail on the tarmac. Both provide a supple ride and great comfort inside for passengers. The high driving positions are a feature loved by owners of SUVs, and these full-size vehicles offer the view and perceived safety that they demand. The Range Rover has always compared well with luxury saloons. There's a real sense that you need to make no compromise when you pick a Range Rover, with the highest quality leather and a real sense of class. Even the suspension lowers to help you get in and out. But the Q7 measures up extremely well too. It has the expected high-quality Audi feel, an intuitive MMI interface for the controls, and comes with the benefit of 7 seats. Not that the GL is left wanting either. It too gets an interior that's up to the mark, and its trump card is this. Just press a button and the third row of seats rises majestically out of the floor. So does the Range Rover hang onto its crown? The Audi and Mercedes are roomier, but that's a two-edged sword. Both can feel too big for comfort on UK roads. The Range Rover's class still betters the GL's more functional appearance, even though the British vehicle isn't quite as powerful. The Audi could arguably mean big trouble for Land Rover, but not until they fit a bigger diesel. So yes, the Range Rover is still tops, but not by much.